Blast off.
Talk shoes. Recorded live.
Hey everybody, Kyler Davenport on with my good friend and co-host, Mr. Glenn Suffin. How you doing, Glenn?
I'm living.
You're living.
Leave it at that. I'm living. I'm existing.
Heard you've been going through a few ups and downs.
Yeah, I had 2 seizures the past 2 days, so I'm feeling kind of rough.
Wow, what are you taking for that?
Sunshine and fresh air.
Really? Trying to stay off the drugs, huh?
They can't give me anything that affects them correctly, and everything they give me poisons me or messes me up or makes me a zombie. So I'm stuck with Tylenol and a hot bath and sleep. So
I'll tell you, one thing that I'm holding out hope for is magnetics. Neurology is coming up with some really good technology with magnetism for seizures.
Yeah.
And we'll see how that pans out over the next year. That's going to be promising, I think, because I really believe in magnetics. Yeah.
The magnetic resonance and all that. I've had many MRIs, and it's a growing field, and I fully expect it to do a lot for people, except for me, because mine aren't really technically seizures. So I go into convulsions, and it's because of the brain injury. And they're like, well, we can't do anything for you. And I'm like, good, then leave me alone. No, but we want to give you medicine. And it's like, if you can't do anything for me, you're not going to do anything to me. I'm tired of being a guinea pig. And, when they put you on half the pharmacy already and it messed you up and gives you, I had pus coming out my hands and everything else and blood and everything. And don't worry about it. It's like, no, it's time for y'all to quit.
A lot of
they
side
almost
effects.
killed me, and they almost killed me with the side effects. And I go, don't worry about it. It's like, it's kind of hard not to worry about it when you get blood coming out your hands.
Yeah.
When you go to the ER and they go, don't worry about this. This isn't an emergency. It's like, I hate to see what an emergency really is then,
Yeah.
So they basically tortured me, so I don't use their medicine anymore. I just try to live my life and do what I can. And if they would get off of their kick and legalize marijuana, or decrim it, but this bullshit they're always, they control
legalized it up here, and it's very, very free and easy to find, and we have a store on every corner up here. So
maybe I might move out there, because I've been thinking about moving to a state that actually has it, where I can,
Oh, you can go down the street smoking it here. It's pretty open here. It's great.
Yeah, here you can't you can't hide in a box and underground to smoke it. It's like it'll come and get you, and it's like if you talk about it, it's like y'all just have to get over the bullshit.
They really do. There's still a lot of old staunch conservatives.
Well, they can't make any money on it, because all you got to do is throw seeds out in your backyard and they grow, and boom, you got a plant. They can't do much about that. And
they could if they would open farms and do some good for the people. I don't mind if it's NGO. Even if it's a non-governmental organization, I wouldn't mind them taking it over and allowing the farmers to have hemp farms and take it into the pharmaceutical company. I don't care. I don't give a shit. As long as you don't ban the people from smoking it and growing it. As long as you don't ban the people.
Yeah, all it is to control the people and not to control what, it was medicine, and then all of a sudden they go, well, we can't regulate it, we can't do anything, and let's start this bullshit. The blacks are going to be sleeping with the whites, and that's the only reason the women want it, and reefer madness, and then we got to decriminalize, we got to make it criminalized, and then they did it illegally because they didn't pass a ordinance, they didn't do it, they just, it's illegal, and they made it illegal illegally, and then everybody, we got to listen to them, and no, we don't. It used to be medicine, they prescribed it up until the 30s, and then all of a sudden, we can't make any, people can grow this on their own, and it became money, green, fiat currency talks and pharmaceuticals. Oh, we're going to have competition, and so we can't poison you because, if they plant hemp and marijuana around Fukushima, it'll get rid of a lot of that radiation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we can't do that. It's like, why not plant this stuff and get rid of the crap that's messing up the planet?
At least try.
Yeah, they're sending in robots, dozens at a time, and they're dying. And it's like, well, come on, at least this stuff will give us a buffer between it. No, we can't do that because it'll help the planet. We're trying to help the planet. Well, what are you trying to do? Well, we're just going to let it keep pumping out shit. Hey, that's not helping the planet,
No.
Everything they say they want to help you with seems to be counteractive to the word help. So.
Yeah, well, Fukushima is getting worse and worse. My last report's coming in, and we'll just have to wait and see if that's going to be a catastrophic event or not.
It's already a catastrophic.
But I mean, out of control.
It's going to get worse.
Where they have to evacuate North America, and of course the seas are dying. I mean, that's obvious. I mean, I can't even stress it enough. The Pacific Ocean is just dead zone. Except out in the Mariana Trench. I've been checking out NOAA. The Mariana Trench is clear as a bell, but it's got its own climate out there. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got the page up. Prayer Science International is up and running at full speed ahead. And I want to tell you, we haven't had any major controversy as of yet. This is an odd page in a way. I've heard that it's the first prayer science page that's come up, and I've looked. Nothing comes up under prayer science except us, Prayer Science International. And as of now, we've got 242 post reach just since yesterday, and the numbers are growing. Comments are growing. We've got a 4-star rating over there already, thanks to me. 85 post engagement, which is pretty damn good for a couple of days up and running. Now, what's great about this page is it's got a little bit of everything on it. I bet Glenn hasn't even scrolled down because he's been sick, but it's got a little bit of everything anyone could want on it who deals with spiritualism or meditation or prayer. And I think that's what's really good about it. Now, I'm waiting for the comments, it's not charismatic. It's you're denying Jesus Christ. I shouldn't even put that out there tonight because I'll get it. But I'm waiting for those types of comments to come in. I haven't had any come in yet. But as I said in my video, this is for everybody on the planet. This is not about religion. This is about God, and this is about prayer, and this is about faith, hope, and healing. That's it. End of story. That's where the line is drawn. If you want to go talk about your other stuff, that's fine. But just don't get into arguments and fights and fusses over there. I don't want to see people throwing things at each other over there. That's one thing I don't want to get started, although, as Glenn said one time, publicity, any kind of publicity is good publicity. But I guess that's right. But I don't want to have to moderate that. Would you, Glenn?
Yeah.
All night?
No, moderating, I think you said, prayer science is more about science than religion. So that should be the, you can talk about religion and, as far as I'm concerned, religion is just your opinion. But there is science behind it. And, I've studied some, not researched it, intensely, but I have researched it. And there's something to it, if you get 100 people, 100 people wishing you well, that's a positive force that's coming to you in the medium, and the vibrations hit you, and we're all like, we're all vibrational entities, really. I mean, we're bodies of light and vibration and stuff like that. So there's got to be something to it. And then everybody has to cloud it up with their religion and, oh, I don't believe this, I don't believe that. And it's like, look at the science. Put away the religion for a moment and just look at what's being said. And I think it's time for this. So, and you're right, I haven't looked at it much because, for the past 2 days, all I've been doing is holding my head and watching lightning bolts shoot through it. So I haven't been doing too much in way of promoting or pushing. But the minute I get back online,
okay. You'll be back online.
I'll definitely, once I get back up and running, I'll flood the airwaves with stuff again. So
we just got a message on Prayer Science International thanking us for the page and appreciating what's going on over there as you were speaking. That is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Lots of stuff going on. I saw Alex Jones is going a little bit nuts, trying to apologize for covering Pizzagate. But,
I saw that.
He went a little far with that Pizzagate thing. I think the owner of that pizza place has taken enough grief over MSNBC and all the bullshit they put on him, all the mainstream news put on him, and I think they used Alex Jones as a penguin or a pigeon in all of this.
He's more of a Judas goat on it because he did push a lot of stuff and then he backed off and some of what he pushed might have, I can see what he did. It's like, no, he's got a business and an empire he's got to maintain, and it was the right move for him. And people, I just respect him. It's like, no, if I, as a news person, if I put out there something that, I go way overboard, I go back and say, wait a minute, I screwed the pooch, man. That's what you're supposed to do as a journalist. And when you fuck up, you go, hey, I fucked up. And that doesn't bring you down. That actually picks you up because a lot of people don't do that anymore. They just go, oh, well, live with it. Or they double down on it and put out even more crap. And that guy's got a lot of money and a lot of ties into Washington, D.C., too, who owns that pizza place. And I think Alex was a little bit concerned about a major lawsuit, major damage control coming down the pike. And the guy was nice enough to send him a letter. I don't know if that came from his attorney. Alex didn't specify whether it came from his attorney, but I bet it did. And I bet they said, reading what he put out there, it was an attorney saying, you better walk this back quick, and that's what he did. I can't down him for that. If somebody comes to me legally and says, hey, you got to walk something back, I'm going to be the first one. All right, let me take a look at it. Hey, I was wrong. Or if it is a non-issue, I will stand behind it. But I believe Alex did the right thing, even though people, I do too. It's like, no, he's trying to show that he's, everybody calls him a shill and all this, and everybody's, to a certain point, all of us are shills in the business, and we're all gatekeepers. So, and it's what it should be based on what you put out, not your, personality. I mean, people
married to a Jew.
You're married to a Jew. Therefore, well, I live with a Jew. I have a Jew roommate, and people, we're anti-Jew. Well, and since you associate with a Jew, you're a Jew too. It's like, then fine, label me a Jew. That's what you want to label me. I mean, I don't give a fuck about your labels. I give a fuck about what I put out there and if it's the truth or not, and the integrity of what I put out, not on what you base it on, because one day you might like me and the next day I say something and I'm the worst person in the world, so your opinion changes. It doesn't change the effect of what I put out, because I try to put out there only the truth. And there are times I put out there shit and go, oh, fuck. That was total shit. I got taken. But I go back out there and go, hey, man, people, this is fucking fake. Sorry. I totally got taken by this. And, well, that means that you're not credible. Well, if, everybody makes mistakes. And if you're going to base it on one mistake, well, fuck you. I'm tired of it.
you hear about this smell of marijuana led Connonsburg police to what they call a sophisticated grow operation? Now a 69-year-old feeble grandmother is facing charges.
Over a plant. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I don't understand the society we live in anymore. Yeah,
now, this
used
was
to be plants were, medicine.
This was a little more than a plant, Glenn. This was a sophisticated growing operation Grandma had going here.
Nah, I don't really. To me, it's all crap because it's a plant that can be grown, and even if you're growing it for nefarious reasons, the reason for the nefarious reason, like we said before, if they decriminalize it, the demand will go down because nobody wants to do it now because it's legal. So,
right.
The industry, but then you look at Colorado and you look at some of the other states that have legalized and decrimmed it, they're making a mint on this shit. So,
look at Colorado. Colorado's the shining star.
Yeah. And it's like we can pull ourselves out of debt in the United States by decriminating it, and in a couple of years we'll be rich as hell. I mean, it'll be all over the place. You won't have to do anything. There won't be as many problems. There won't be people in jail because of it, which is their main industry.
I'll tell you how to solve the homeless problem right now is just put them on a very high-functioning marijuana farm, a grower farm, and let them learn the marijuana business and let them sell what they grow, and you've solved the homeless problem right there. Create a foundation, create a nonprofit organization, and start reaching out to all the shelters around the country and put about $30, $40, $50 million in the bank, no big deal, and solve the problem. Why aren't they doing that? That's a no-brainer.
Because that would solve the problem, and then they won't have any way to control the people. That's why they don't do it. All this is control of the populace. They can control something, make it criminal, and put more people in jail because of it, which is their growing industry, the prison complex. And, they're pushing everybody from cradle to prison, and that's what the schools do. They indoctrinate you into the prison system, and it's a growing business because, hey, we're going to make more penitentiaries and stuff, and anybody that's smoking a plant, we're going to put them in there and get cheap labor out of them. And it's like you said, put them on a farm, make them produce, and we'll get rid of the problem altogether, and there'll be more money in it.
Teach them the science. Teach them the science of growing, and let them own a farm.
But then they can get tomatoes and grow tomatoes, and then they'll start growing their own food, and we can't have that either. It all goes back to, well, we control the narrative, so therefore we control the world, and a lot of that mentality is dying out with Rockefeller. He just died. Boop, goodbye. And I think we need to get rid of the oligarchs, and once we get rid of them, and that way of thinking from the 40s, and get into the 21st century thinking, where everybody is going to succeed, or we're all going to fail. And what they want is we all fail. And there's a lot of us that don't want that. And we're starting to stand up and say, no, this isn't right.
I have
way
no
of thinking.
I have no way of putting all of this information together coherently to know exactly what's going on with the marijuana situation. And no one does. No one can have that much brain power to know exactly who's pulling what strings where for what reasons, or pushing what buttons where for what reasons.
You also have different factions pushing different buttons because they all want to do something different. And that's where it all comes in.
I've always thought that Big Pharma has their hand in this somewhere along the line, waiting to take the move to make the little marijuana pills and the tincture pills and this pill and that pill.
They already come out with Frankenweed, and Monsanto's come out with synthetic marijuana. And it's okay to use because it's pharmaceutical, but you can't use the real stuff, and people are going to start dying on the pharmaceutical stuff, and then they're going to blame the real plants, criminalize it again, and still push these GMO pills and this synthetic crap that, oh, it's okay, we said it was, and it's just another form of we're going to kill you with something fake instead of let you use the real thing that actually helps you. And, you know, I can see where all the money is going in that, because there's more money in sick and dying people than there are in healthy people. So, you know,
that's hard to believe.
You know,
for a lot of people. For a lot of people, that's really, that statement you just made is almost absurd to the general public. They could never imagine that the government would in any way, shape, form, or fashion harm its people.
Yeah. And that's until they get into the system, and then they get harmed, and they're like, wow, I see it all now.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's happening is all these people that have been injured are going, fuck this. And it's becoming more and more people saying, fuck this, because they've been injured, and go, no, we don't want to go that way.
But, you
and
know,
that's
we're
where they're
being
having a problem.
injured. We're being injured because we're consumers. We're addicted consumers.
Yeah.
If we would stop consuming and start growing our own food and doing our own thing and being self-motivated and responsible, and we wouldn't be relying on the government and all their toxic poison products, we would be able to sustain ourselves perfectly. But now that requires skill, and that requires training, and that requires motivation and passion and energy. So you have a dilemma here. You have a big dilemma here of people who are used to living off and around the government, and they're not ready to be preppers. They're simply not preppers. And
well, they bred it out of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
They bred it out of us because they did away with all that generation that could do that and indoctrinate us into a different way, which is the way they want us, because, you know, servile, docile, not knowing anything, dumbed down. Here's your smartphone. You know, at age 3, we give them a smartphone instead of, you know, blocks and crowns and tell them to produce. We here, just take this and become a zombie, and then they become a zombie the rest of their lives, and all they know is what is programmed into them from these cell phones, from these smartphones, from the computer. You know, I had the privilege of growing up before computers, so I'm in like one of that last generation that didn't have that input as a child. I picked it up later and started learning how to use it. And wow, you can fool a lot of people with these things, and and they do. And you know, oh, you don't know anything. Just because you don't know it doesn't mean I don't know it.
Right.
And, I mean, I know what code does. I write my own codes. I build my own websites. I can write HTML from, you know, line command. And people, it's like, you don't know what goes into building the thing. You see the after result and say, oh, look at this magic. And there's a lot of stuff that goes into it and a lot of code. And people, it's like, I know the code. That's why I keep telling people, some of this stuff is shit. Don't tell me it's shit. And then years later, I found out it was shit.
Yeah.
But it took you all those years to find out when you could have just listened and been ahead of the game at the beginning. So
and DOS is still the king.
Yeah. I mean, people, you know, every time you use a search bar, you use DOS. I mean, I still use a disk operating system. People, it's like, no, I use a disk operating system because that's how I get around their bullshit sometimes. I've got it on a USB. I plug it in. It runs from the USB. They can't touch me. People, so then they take out my page and they take out my, you know, all my stuff, and, you know, they can't hit me physically anymore, so they hit what I put out. And, you know, it's like, you got to constantly evolve to keep up with them because they're so far ahead of us. It's not funny. And everything I find out, you know, a month or two later, it doesn't work. So I got to learn new stuff, and it is a challenge.
Hi, breaking news.
Yeah.
I was removed from moderator at MGTOW. I was added as a contributor to MGTOW, and I was just now removed as a live contributor to MGTOW. David Johnson wants to talk to me personally on the phone as soon as possible.
Okay.
That video I put out about the boys over there must have really pissed some people off because it got like 69 views immediately.
Yeah, you always know you were effective when they start acting out against you.
Boo! I have been banished from MGTOW worldwide. I have been banned and banished. Amazing. Totally amazing. I'll have to talk to Mr. David Johnson after the show and see how many people came out against me. Boy, I bet you their horns were out when I got through with that video.
See how many were against you and how many were for you.
Well, let's see if they removed my video. Let me look here. I'm looking. Oh, my video's still there. Oh, boy. What the hell's going on with that? Let's see if
so you can't comment.
They've kept the video up, though. The seething video against MGTOW. He must not have seen it there or something. That son of a bitch is still there. My post is still there. Women should be very smart, work very hard, have wisdom, be pretty, be sexy, and know how to have really good sex and have a sense of humor. Well, 3 people blocked me over that post. Women. Who just loved me before I wrote that.
It's amazing how one little thing can send everybody scurrying. It's like, I don't like that opinion. Oh, we got to ban the motherfucker. Hey, come on.
I just talked about that. Yeah, on one of my videos, I just talked about how fake all of this shit is, how fake it all is. Because one little slip up, and you're history. You're blocked. You're banished for
forever
thing.
Because you stated one opinion that they didn't like. Come on, grow up. Grow the fuck up.
I agree.
I have friends constantly I disagree with, and they say stuff I don't like. I don't go, oh, you're not my friend anymore because you said something I didn't like. You don't grow that way. You stagnate and die. And that's what we become. We become a nation that stagnates and dies. We have become settlers again. We settle for anything, and we don't stand up for anything anymore. It's getting really ridiculous. It is very easy to lead. Yeah, they'll fall for anything anymore.
Yeah, fall for anything. If you don't stand up for something, you'll fall for anything.
Yeah, and that's what we become. And, oh, I don't like your opinion. You better change your opinion. And the people, oh, well, I want friends, so I'm going to change my opinion. No, you're just following the crowd. And I tell you what, when the crowd stops, you'll stop. I guarantee it. That's what the crowd is for. You follow the crowd, you only go as far as the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And if the crowd is stuck back in the 40s and we're in the 21st century, you're going to be left behind. That's all it is. And then when enough of the idiots that are following their friends find out that they've been, oh, well, I don't agree with this, I want to stand up. And when enough of them stand up, the crowd will fall down. And, I mean, they've got crowd control down to a science. And it's, I think we've had too much science built upon us because they've controlled, and that's the only word I can say, is controlled the populace so much that they know the majority of them are going to do. And they don't need police force. They don't need a police state. They just put out the word, and everybody polices themselves into the crowd. And I don't.
Hold it. Let me see if I can get David on live. He's not wanting to talk to me live. Stand by here. Let's see what happens. I told him I don't give a shit. Talk to me live. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. If you can't face me live.
Oh, he wants to call in. Give me the number. Let's add him. Producer, now. Come on. Go. Let's go. I don't have his number. Stand by. Yeah? Yeah? Here, take over. Take over my control seat. Take over my control seat, number one. Number one. Number one, my ass. Let me get my cigarettes and bring them in here where I can. He's calling. Yeah, he is. Grab him. Well, get it so. Make it so. Make it so. Make it so. You have his number. Make it so. I want to hear this in front of Glenn. I want Glenn to be a witness on this. All those pussies over there. MGTOW. Wussy pants. Ladies and gentlemen, he's calling in again. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, just stand by. We're going to get David Johnson in here, and he's going to, boy, this ought to be really, 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 really interesting. Glenn, I want you to just weigh in on him. Do whatever you got to do. Listen to the testimony. Listen to the testimony, and then I'll use you as an expert witness. That people need to chill. People need to chill the fuck out and ask for other opinions besides just whining about how women are hateful and mean and dirty and nasty and they take my money and wah. Shit. I just don't know how to handle women.
They don't know how to handle life. I mean, really, because, you know, if you treat everybody the same, you don't have to worry about it too much.
And there's plenty of women out there to choose from. Mm-hmm. It's not like there's only 4 on the tree.
Yeah. And maybe if you keep running into the same type of women, maybe it's not the women, maybe it's you. Yeah. Maybe you got to take and look in the mirror sometimes and say, what am I doing wrong?
Get him in.
You know, everybody.
We got plenty of time here. I'm in no hurry. Oh, it's beautiful outside. Open the window.
Oh, yeah.
Producer?
It's 70 here.
It's wonderful here.
Yeah, that could be another reason why I've been having the seizures, because it went from like 20 to 70 in a couple hours.
Oh, wow. I hope it stays like this. We have spring here, finally. Man, finally spring is here, and I'm hoping it's going to remain pretty. You never know here in the Northwest. It's snowing in the mountain. I can see snow on the mountain right now, and it's 78 degrees where I am.
Yeah, well, that's here in Virginia. It could be snowing at the beginning of the day and 70 at the end of the day. So
yeah.
I mean, it just jacked with the weather so much, and I believe, honestly, some of my seizures are because of the HARP and everything else that they're using. People, oh, you believe in HARP? Ha ha ha! Yeah, I do. I can point to it on a map. You know, it ain't a conspiracy theory. The thing exists in Alaska. It exists up in New York.
Pilots came out for it in droves. That's the mainstream didn't cover it.
I mean, I just shared Agenda 21 from the UN website, and people go, oh, this is a scam. It's like, if it is, the UN did it.
Have him call. Make him call. Tell him I want to talk to him on air.
And that's another thing. People won't face you live on air because then you have evidence. They'd rather talk to you behind closed doors where they can say what they want to say. And it's I told him, like my ex-co-host. I mean, I just feel a couple questions about that today because other people are like, he's a shill. And he's like, no, he's a police wound-up agitator. Yeah. He's not, you know, yes, he is a shill, but he's more of a police wound-up agitator because the police do stuff to him, make him react, he reacts, then they can then go and do what they want to do. And he doesn't understand this. And he goes about, you know, showboating for people. And
so I'm learning here. Okay, there's a new box for me. Okay. Has he been told what to do? Okay. He's crazy? It's unreliable, David said. It's unreliable when I call in. It's unreliable. What does that mean? I know, it's not unreliable for me. Well, either he pops in or he doesn't. We shall see.
Yeah. Well, I have one thing to say about that. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. If you say you don't have one, you're full of shit. Because if you say you don't have an opinion, you're full of fucking shit. And if you say you don't have an asshole and you don't have an asshole, you're definitely full of shit. So
you're definitely full of shit, yeah. Well,
so either way, I could care less about people's opinions.
Yeah. Well, he said pin not recognized. Well, the whole thing is MGTOW hates women, and I got tired of hating on women. At first, it was fun. At first, it was exciting. At first, it was something new, MGTOW worldwide. I thought, wow, this is kind of different, learn a new language, make more money, move to another country, start a business, change your life, join MGTOW worldwide. Hatred is obsession. Start focusing on your life. Huh.
And the first thing is hate women. Yeah. They should be called No Man. Bring back Al Bundy's group, No Man.
Well, they should be gay. I mean, they hate women. They should be gay and just sit around and have jack-off parties. I mean, that's what I told them.
They probably do. They probably do and just don't want to admit it. That's why they don't want to be on radio. And
Southwest Ontario, you're on with Kiler Davenport.
Hello there, how are you?
Pretty good. Who's on?
Dave.
Dave, what's going on?
Not too much.
Well, what's going on over there at MGTOW with the boys?
Oh, well, some of the guys expressed concern that some of your posts were very inflammatory. So,
inflammatory.
I think you might misunderstand what that group is. Not MGTOW. All of MGTOW is different than the group that you're in with us.
Well, I just don't think that you all appreciate any other opinions except for the ones that you have going, the train of thought against women that you have going. I don't think that you're big enough to take in any other opinions about women whatsoever. All that I've done is tell the truth over there at MGTOW. I'm a human being. I'm a male. I'm 60 years old. I've been around the block. I understand women. I've been with women. I've had good relationships, bad relationships. And if you look at the train of thought over there, it's all immature and it's all against women. Every other post is against women. How can you be against all women, each and every woman on the planet?
Well, they're not. You're. To me, it seems like you might be lumping everyone together. The group.
Well, I'm looking at your page. I'm looking at your page right now, and I've been looking at it for a long time. And I've read your misogynistic post, Introduction to MGTOW, and I've went over it. And I'm looking
Sandman. No, that's Sandman.
Well, I'm still looking at all of your posts here, and I'm looking at all the memes that are on here. I noticed you kept my video on there, which is pretty interesting. You probably haven't seen it yet, or you'd probably probably delete it. Glenn's on. Glenn's on, by the way. Say hello to Glenn. Hi.
Hey, Dave.
Hello, Glenn.
Inflammatory.
No, I thought you said you liked MGTOW. I thought you said you liked MGTOW some time ago, but now it seems like you're making a 180.
No, it's just that after you read and research and you listen to all of the posts and you listen to all of the counterproductive talk that's going on at MGTOW about the female gender.
Oh, I agree.
I totally agree. It just gets old after a while. It gets really old.
I totally agree with you, but that's why we're trying to steer these guys in the other direction. If you read the banner, MGTOW Worldwide, it's about the subtitle is what does it say? I don't have it in front of me right now, but it says hatred as obsession. Start focusing on your own life. So we're trying to steer guys in the right direction. So that's what we're trying to do. I mean, but there's always these people whining and complaining. I mean, you can't really stop them. We can't police that stuff really. So we just try to filter posts. That's all we can do.
But if I can interject,
I just wish you'd try to realize what we're trying to do.
Go ahead, Glenn.
Yeah, what you're trying to do is your page speaks for itself. When people look at the page, they're not going to look at all the idiosyncrasies of everybody has their own opinion. They're going to form their opinion on the group itself. And if all the group is everybody downing women, they're not going to sit there and read through and find the ones that don't. They're going to take it as a generalization and go, fuck this, and go away.
That's true. And to just look at the few posts on there, you would assume immediately that this page hates women. This page is a movement against the female gender, period.
Well,
and
course,
you can't deny that, David.
Of course.
You can't deny that, David.
No, they don't hate women.
What did I say? I said if just a general person came over, I mean, look at this post here. MGTOW community has been infiltrated. I mean, what does that sound like to you? It sounds paranoid as hell to me. The MGTOW community has been infiltrated. Feminism. What does that sound like to you? What does that sound like to you?
There's nutcases all over the place. It's Facebook. What can you do? Well, who's going to stop those kind of posts?
Well, you're a moderator, admin.
I'm not. It's not a full-time job.
Okay, now you're making excuses, David.
No, I'm not.
You deleted him. You can delete people. You deleted him. I mean, you're saying we can't police this stuff, but you police the people that are causing the problems, but keeping everybody in there that sticks to the same agenda. And so right there, I've not been on MGTOW. I can't say anything about it because I've not been on it. I've not looked at it, but I've heard of it. And what I've heard is they hate women. And that's the general consensus of the public, not
and the first thing,
people going in.
And are you there, David? He's gone.
You start talking truth to people and they hang up. They don't want to hear it because, it's not a full-time job. I get that too. And yeah, my full-time job is news, but I'm still responsible for my posts on Bedbook. And because there's nuts on the pages, there's nuts on my pages too, but I take care of them. It sounds more like a cop-out to me. And then here's a meme
right here. Stood right in my face on the front page of MGTOW. I find it amazing how women know all that is wrong with society, but when it comes to fixing it, they are nowhere to be found. Now that right there would put anybody off.
Yeah. Or you're drawing foam to pull people in to dispute it, and then we'll attack anybody that says anything against it. I mean, I've dealt with groups like this before. I mean, they're all over the place. He's right. It is all over the internet. I deal with them in the chemtrail community. I deal with them in the truther movement. I deal with them in the liberty movement. Hey, you have the ones that just put out their inflammatory shit.
Al Bundy is their poster boy. Negro Manosphere.
Yeah.
Negro Manosphere.
Like I said, they should bring back No Man. I mean, that's what it sounded like to me when I first saw MGTOW. Is No Man.
One. Message to American women: boycott bitches. Message to American women: boycott bitches. I mean, come on, David. Why did you hang up? I know you're listening right now. Boycott bitches? You sound like you're from the hood, man.
Or from the kindergarten playbox.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Susie said something about me, so we got to hate all girls now. And we'll have an all-boys club. Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll do an all-boys club, and we'll down women. You never had a woman. Sorry.
What if
I've had quite a few of them, and I know from where I speak, women are how you treat them, just like any other human.
Yeah. And like I told David, I've had my share of women, and I've had my share of good relationships, and I've had my share of horrific relationships. And yeah, I can see where women, from a man's standpoint, I can see where women are a little twerpy, a little airheaded at times, and there's some airheads out there, and there's some bitches out there, and there's some hoes out there, and there's all kinds of women out there, but there's also all kinds of men out there equally so. You know?
For every airhead woman, there's at least 2 airhead men that made her that way sometimes. So, you know, blaming it all on women, you know, if we're going to go that route, we may as well blame Eve for taking the apple first, you know? Well, it goes back to that. Well, the woman took the apple first, so therefore she's the weaker. Evolve away from all that shit. Learn to work with people.
I can't believe David said this is only a part-time job. He's totally immersed in that organization, totally up to his neck.
Probably started it.
Yeah, he did. He's the main.
Yeah, and it's only a part-time. I just started it to bring film in and bring people in. If you agree with them, they're all for you. The minute you start disagreeing, they'll throw you out.
Oh yeah. They were after me from the beginning.
That was my co-host. If you agree with him, you're all for it. The minute you start questioning shit, I'm paranoid now, and you're going against me, and I have to retaliate against you because you have a different opinion. Mm-hmm. So what? Yeah, I base my opinion on fact, you know?
I'm just going to block the page right now.
Yeah, that's the best thing to do now since they won't talk. Oh, it's a straw man. Oh, it's all over your page. I mean, I don't go to your page, but
they call me a troll. They call me this. They call me that. They call me everything in the book.
I am now a social justice mage because social justice warrior class was all filled up. I took another classification. I took mage.
What's that?
Magic user.
It's
a little D&D joke. And, you know, all the warrior classification was all filled up, so I had to choose another one.
Oh, okay.
Because there's so many social justice warriors out here. It's like, I don't follow the crowd. I'm going to be a mage instead, or a rogue, or a vigilante, or something else. Another classification, because it's fucking ridiculous. And then I got people, are you pro-Trump? I don't vote, so I'm pro-nobody. Yeah?
That's what they asked me. Are you pro-Trump? Are you pro-Hillary? Are you pro-this? Are you right?
Are you against Antifa? Well, if the fucking idiots running around breaking up, they're all for Hillary Clinton, but they're breaking up stores that Hillary Clinton supports, you're totally bullshit.
I'm where I need to be at the time for my survival, my ultimate survival. That's where I am.
Like I said, I base my opinion on the facts. People, you don't know. It's like, I know, I read stuff from overseas. I get news feeds from Iran, Russia. You know, I read overseas newspapers too, not just CNN. You know, and all these people only watch CNN and get all their news from that Rothschild propaganda arm, and which is most of our media now is Rothschild propaganda. It's only owned by 5 or 6 companies, and all of them are owned by Rothschild. So you're only getting one side of the story, even though they produce both sides. It's still all slanted one way. And I'm like, no, I'm fucking press. I'm not media. You know, it doesn't say anywhere in the Bill of Rights anything about media. It does state press, freedom of press, which I do not have. But if I change my name to media, I'd get all the perks. It's like, fuck you. I'm not state run. I'm not owned by anybody. I can barely keep my stuff online because I don't get any payments. I'm doing it all out of my pocket on nothing. And, you don't know what it's like. I put it out there every day. I know what it's like. I got to deal with the assholes like my ex-co-host. And, you know, and then I'm so big. He only had 2 people at the rally. You know, that's a big rally. My God, 2 people showed up. oh, yeah, you're real big. You're international, 2 people. And he claims I had 12. Well, that's 10 more than you had.
Yeah.
You know? And it's fucking ridiculous.
What does he have? A show or a network or a station?
He's on Blog Talk Radio, and he was on white supremacist radio, renegade radio, and white supremacy bullshit. He took us on there for 6 months. I told him at the beginning I wanted nothing to do with it. Oh, you're suspicious. It's like, no, I'm a former white supremacist. I don't want to be on that crap. Yeah. That's all it is to it. And, oh, well, now you're suspicious. You're acting funny. Well, when you put a white supremacist, ex-white supremacist, on white supremacy radio, of course you're going to act funny.
You're going to have a problem. You're going to have a problem.
Yeah. And I'm rebelling against it. And the minute I started going against their narrative, we're going to look into you.
That's like me going in against MGTOW.
Yeah. The minute you go against the narrative, oh, now you're suspicious. We're going to look at you. We're going to find any little thing we don't like, we'll put out there as a big thing, and all you did was destroy yourself. I mean, in the process, because I'm still here. I'm still on the radio. I got bigger since I left him. So, you know what, telling me I needed him, you aren't doing shit. And now people are starting to look at you and say, you're chill, you're Illuminati, and your hand symbols, and this is going straight to my ex-co-host. All the hand symbols you do, all the little gestures that you think are cool, people are going to start looking at you, and they're going to call you what you are, a shill. I'm calling you an agitator. You're a police wind-up agitator.
Yeah.
And you didn't find any agents, like you say, oh, this person is an agent. Call me an agent. I'm an agent of the press. Yes, I'm an agent. I'm an agent of the press. I carry a press pass. Mm-hmm. So I'm an agent of the press. And, oh, well, you're part of the movement. Just because I'm covering something doesn't make me part of it.
Right.
I keep telling people, it's like I'm there covering
You're an independent observer.
Yeah.
I'm
independent, but the police don't see it that way because you're with the group. The group doesn't see it that way because you're with the group. And it's like,
or you're with the police, or you're with the police. So you're either with the group,
that's the next
thing
they're going to do.
It's hard to get them to see you as an independent journalist out there gathering a story.
Yeah, and that's every movement I've been in. The chemtrail, the liberty movement. Oh, you're with us. Oh, you're against us now. It's easy to go against somebody. You just say no, and you're automatically labeled a troll.
Well, it's not easy. It's not easy gathering a story in this day and age, Glenn. It's not easy gathering a story. This isn't 1960 where people didn't have that mindset, or 1970 where people didn't have that mindset. Yes, that.
And also didn't have the internet. That was another thing. They didn't have the internet. I have the internet. I research. I mean, I do. People take my articles and they're like, "Holy shit, we didn't know this," but then they come and attack me for knowing what I know. It's like because I put it out there and showed you. I'm automatically the bad guy. I accept that. And my thing is I want to make sure that I put out there the fact, the truth. I can start putting out there slanderous shit and put out there bullshit, but then my popularity will grow up, but my credit will drop to nothing. I'd rather have the credit than the popularity. I could care less if only 5 people read my shit. At least those 5 people are informed, and they have the truth. Now, if I start doing like they do, like MGTOW, just everybody, I tried that for a while. It doesn't work because you get the dregs of society.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have seen the dregs. I've had 10,000 people come after me at once from anonymous, so I don't care. I still call them asshats. It doesn't bother me how many have come after me, because the minute they start saying, well, we question this, and I show them the proof, they got then is straw man arguments and then Hobbin arguments. They can't go after the facts verified from the government, from the agencies themselves, like the CIA, the FBI, the UN. I don't go to Johnny Jimbo's website and say, well, the UN said something. I go to the UN and pull the documents out of their files and say, here they are. You people don't do your research. And you don't. I'm the only one that seems to do research half the time. And when I put it out, oh, this is fake, oh, this is, and then years later they put the stuff out and then try to tell me what's out there. And it's like, yeah, I put it out there. Mm-hmm. I mean, my God. It's bullshit. And, you know, we live in the age of bullshit and information. And the bullshit's winning because nobody wants to look up the information. They want to be told.
I just put you on close friends. See first from my RSS feed. So I'll see all your posts first, and took you off of default, poked you, and I've noticed here there's no place on this page, low in effect, to how in effect, now in effect. There's no place on this page to invite friends on your page.
Yeah. They've got me so.
Why is that? They've taken that out of there.
Yeah, probably just for me. It'll probably be on somebody else's. It'll be invite people, but for me, they take it off because they don't want people getting my shit.
You and I have
block
15,
my page.
You and I have 15 mutual friends. That's it. Yeah, and I sent a bunch of people. Mary sent a bunch of people to Glenn Sutphin Desktop Publications. Did you see that?
Yes. Yeah, I've been getting a lot of people joining in on the. Yeah, I tell everybody go to my news pages, Glenn Sutphin Desktop Publications, and get the news straight. Don't try to friend me because they lock my page up so much that you won't be able to see it. If you get through, you're lucky. And then if all the buttons work, you're even luckier. I mean, I have a 1%, I think. 1% of the people coming to me can get through. The rest, the 99, I'm like, go to Get the News Straight. Go to Glenn Sutphin Desktop Publication. It carries the same thing that I carry on a personal page. I mirror them. All three of them are mirrored. That way, if they take down my personal page, I still have admins and stuff that'll put the page up, get the pages, news pages out there and the news out. I'm more worried about the news than I am friends.
Yeah, I have you on a save for me in the background in case I lose my page also. One of my feeds over there on Facebook.
I saw that.
So.
I saw that.
Yeah, I'm looking at your page now. Pretty cool.
I stopped doing that because they started going after everybody that I had to get back into my page and blocked them and stuff. And then it's like, it doesn't even, I'll just start another page if I want one.
It's so hard to start.
Yeah, no, they've redone the whole thing again, and they make it. We need a DNA sample. You know, we need your name, rank, serial number, your toe size, everything. It's ridiculous.
They make you send them a copy of your driver's license. Yeah.
Well, I don't have a driver's license because they took it from me, so I just have to send them my ID. And then my birth certificate that I got into the Army on after 9/11 became obsolete, and they sent me another one. I had to get my mom to get it, and it doesn't even have my birth weight on it anymore.
Really?
Yeah, it's like this is the original copy, and it doesn't even have my birth weight on it. So I'm weightless in this society.
You're a weightless person.
Yeah, I'm a blank. I don't mind being a blank. It's kind of cool, but all the shit I see.
I'd be blank myself if I didn't have this new prayer page going, have something to do. I got tired of Facebook in general over there on my page. I mean, I'm getting the hits, knocking them out right and left, knocking them out in left field. I'm happy about that. But this Prayer Science International has really given me something to look forward to. We're building a website off of it that's going to be multicultural and diverse and cover all religions, organizations, customs, traditions, dogmas, creeds around the world. And then we're going to try to monetize it. Now, when I told people I was going to try to monetize my website, some couple got a little upset with me. Oh, you can't have any money. You're not supposed to have any money.
That's what they tell me.
You're supposed to be broke and have the seat of your pants hanging out and be poor and hungry and,
And still put out all this information and gather all this information and do everything.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm facing. They go, well, if you start selling stuff, you're a sellout. And it's like, well, then how am I going to fund myself? Well, you should start selling stuff. It's like, what the fuck is that? I mean, I'm not allowed to sell anything because I'll be a sellout. But to fund myself, I should sell stuff.
Yeah, I know.
Well, what should I sell? I mean, and people, that's why I've gotten no money. And then I've noticed, too, on my page, I won't get any comments. I'll get a lot of likes, but no comments. And then they'll share my stuff on some other page, and there'll be gazillion comments on it. So, like I said, I don't know how big I am. I don't care how big I am. As long as the information gets out there and it's accurate, that's all the fuck I care about.
Well, all I know is to monetize, you've got to have at least 25,000 people in your local audience if you're going for local advertising. You've got to have at least a minimum of 25,000, and that depends on the size town you're in. That town can only be about 150,000, 175,000 people. And if you can muster up 25,000 people in that 150, 175,000 people, you can sell the hell out of advertising. Now, if you're in a city that has 250,000 people, you're going to have about 110,000 people. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
You're going to have.
No, it's what it seems like. You've got to have
75,000
a good percentage. People. And if I had a good percentage of that population, I wouldn't need to advertise. It's like if they got it all rigged, because if you can't get it out there, you're not going to get it out there. And if you get the stuff out there, usually what they get out there is crap. And, of course, the crap is going to go viral. I mean, I've covered a couple of stories that went viral and their expert is some homeless guy on a cell phone. And it's like, what the fuck? This went viral because of that.
They make more money than we do, some homeless guy on a cell phone sometimes.
Yeah. And they're making the money and I'm not. And it's like, well, fine, the world isn't fair. I understand that now. But I'm still going to do what I do. And I still got to that doesn't give me an excuse to make what I do any less. I still put out there the information, try to make sure it's accurate, try to make sure it's up to date, and make sure it's not bullshit, And that's my main job. And if I think if I do that, I'm doing pretty good.
Well, I still say you should be on the air at least once a week with your own show. Oh,
definitely. I'm gearing towards that. We'll talk a little bit more off air about it because I don't talk business online, but
yeah.
But I'm definitely interested. I can see where I should be on the radio, and then that'll help a lot too.
At least once a week. And then I can run the show in my 24-hour network.
Yeah.
With an MP3.
Well, I've also been doing the video too. Have my own video show, and you should really start doing that. I'll try to get you on a Skype, and we can do an interview.
Okay.
The video is more. I don't know. More people want to see the visual than just hear the voice, and the radio is great because you can listen to it in a car and stuff, but I found out you can't hold up a document on the radio and show it. Where I can.
My videos are going through the roof. I love it. My videos are very successful on Facebook. They love to see my face. I mean, I'm not saying I'm a good-looking guy. I'm just saying.
No, it's the visual. I've noticed that where if I put something out in writing, I get a few people. And I start talking about it on the radio, I get a few more. If I put a video out about it, it goes ballistic. So,
and I told you about the new Facebook Live, how wonderful that is, didn't I?
Yeah. Right now they've got me all blocked and stuff from it.
How long are you going to be blocked?
I don't know. It's like they told me, the one thing is, you have to pay $40 a month. And it's like, I can't afford $40 a month to be on. I can do the same thing on my Ustream and YouTube and everything else, and without paying. And I don't pay for anything if I can help it, because
I don't either.
They go, pay us $40 a month, and then you pay. To upgrade to get what you really want, you need $200. Yeah, they make you want. You got to advertise, and then you got to get into the business, and then it becomes a business of being in business, not getting the news out. And
well,
I'm trying to do it all on a shoestring.
I'm all for people making a living. That's my whole thing. I'm all for people making a living. I'm all for paying your bills. I'm all for having some money in your pocket. You deserve that. You need that. That's only right that you have some money in your pocket. And it's hard to monetize Facebook. It's very, very, very hard to monetize social media. What do they call it? Social media, cyber something, social. I can't remember what they call it when you monetize social media, but there's 2 words for it. But it's very difficult because you have to do a psychodemographic stratification analysis, and that psychodemographic stratification analysis has to be done with your keywords and your tag words and your Google Analytics and all of that shit. So it takes a while to get plugged in, and then you've got to work it 18 hours a day or you'll lose it. They make you work hard for this shit.
Or you need to hire somebody that knows SEO and all this other stuff and can do that for you. And then you went from 1 person to 3 just to contain that. And then,
and if you have a radio show, it does help, too, to have a radio show to bring people over to the radio show. And that really works well when you can do your SEOs and your Google Analytics and your psychodemographic stratification analysis. That brings people to your radio show. And then when you start to see 150 people in chat over there in your radio show, that motivates the hell out of you to be on radio twice a week.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Oh, yeah, it does. It really motivates.
I mean, I'm not saying that there isn't, something there, but what they want you to do from the beginning, you got to be a major corporation in the beginning just to get anywhere.
Yeah, you do have to have some money. I mean,
or have a lot of money, and I have less than nothing. I run my show on less than nothing, do what I do, have been for 22 years on less than nothing. And people, it's like, no, I can still keep going because it doesn't cost me that much to keep going. Now, getting bigger, I need the money to get bigger. I need the exposure.
The problem is, you said it, exposure. You need to monetize, and to monetize, you need exposure. And to get exposure, you have to do at least your Google Analytics, complete Google Analytics and psychodemographic stratification analysis, and then start working on your SEOs. And that's a goal that everybody should have. I tell everybody that's a goal that you should have. A lot of people look at that and they go, oh, shit, I'm not getting into that. That looks like it's really hard. And, yeah, it is kind of hard, but if you take your time over 6 or 7 weeks, you can pull through it. They've got Google School over there, Google Analytics School. You can take a course, a free course, actually, and you can go to YouTube and you can find all the education in the world on Google Analytics and SEOs and psychodemographic stratification analysis. So it's all there if one wants to take the time to do it, but it's academic.
Unfortunately, time is the one aspect I don't have anything of, because following the news, you don't get a break. You don't get 6 weeks to take off. You got to be on the ball 24/7 when something pops up.
Yeah, but you can work 2 hours at a time and learn a little bit here and a little bit there, and over 6 months you can have most of it done, Glenn.
Yeah.
Okay. And we're getting ready to sit down and do ours. And thank goodness I've got an expert working with me. So,
yeah, that always helps too.
I've got an expert working with
somebody
me.
Somebody that can work their way through it.
Going to shoot the APRI page to the top of Google, and going to shoot the Prayer Science International to the top of Google, and shoot the Prayer Science International website to the top of Google, and I'll be ready. That's going to be good for me. That's going to be a boon, man, I tell you. I got to hurry up and get this guy to get on it, too, because he may die, pass away, move. Who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah.
While he's hot, while he's here.
Yep, use them while you got them.
Yeah, use them while you got them. Well, I'm glad that you're feeling a little bit better, able to go on air at least.
Yeah.
What seems to bring
wise is but being on air, I mean, I can talk.
What seems to bring these seizures on?
Weather change, heat, stress, life, you name it. It seems to be. Mainly it's stress, which they said, oh, you should do something less stressful. Yeah, being in the news isn't less stressful. There's a certain amount of stress you have to deal with being in the news and stuff. You know that.
Tell me about it.
And, it is stressful, and then you got to put up with all the fucking idiots. And the only way I could do that is just go hide in a cave and barricade the door. And even then, I'll have stress because I got to figure out food and So
well,
stress.
There again,
usually it's the weather and stress.
There again, I want to say when you do the news, you need to monetize, and if not monetize, you need the exposure. Because otherwise, you're not getting out there to anybody. You're talking to 2 or 3 people, or 6 people, or 12 people, or 24 people, and that's just not going to cut it. You need to be talking to 2,400 people, and that's when you really get excited about life, and your health starts changing, and you start to see a major change in your life. Is when you're talking to several thousand people. That's when you start to say, "Whoa, this is a good life. I enjoy this. This is something great," because you're pushing the limit of your capacity. But we shall see. You'll be reporting on my channel, and that's a good thing. We'll be cross-promoting with each other, and I'll be coming on your show. You'll be coming on my show, and I'll be running your shows in my network. That'll help you, where you won't have to do your SEO.
Yeah, and I haven't done it lately, but I convert all your radio shows I'm on into video too, and put them up on YouTube.
Cool.
That helps a lot too, because that's another outlet that you can have for your radio. It's like, okay, you don't only have to go to this app, you can now go to YouTube and see it on YouTube.
And by the way, speaking of that, ladies and gentlemen, it is March the 26th, 2017 at 7:08 p.m., and I am Kiler Davenport on with Glenn Safin. I got to get that right. Sutphin.
It's Dutch.
And we are Alternative Public Radio International. And if you want to Google me, you can just Google Kiler, Kiler Davenport, Davenport. If you want to email me, it's dkiler2010 at gmail.com. dkiler2010@gmail.com. And I do want you all to go over and check out the new page. It is wonderful. Prayer Science International. That's Prayer Science International on Facebook. The page is really taking off, and it's not controversial yet. I'm amazed that we haven't had any fights over there yet. I'm really amazed. I'm truly, truly, truly amazed that we haven't had the charismatics coming over, bashing the Tibetans and bashing the Gregorians and bashing the Sunnis and bashing the Sufis and bashing the Buddhists and bashing the Catholics. I'm really, really surprised that has not happened yet. And Glenn, maybe you've got a take on that, why it hasn't happened yet. Do you think it's just too new?
Yeah, I think it's probably too new. People haven't gotten into it yet, and probably because you're taking a different approach. You're not saying, I'm a Christian, putting this out there. You're going, hey, we're going to study it. And I'll look up a lot of, I'll have to look back through the archives. I'm sure I have some about prayer and the scientific side of it. I'll have to start looking for some articles on it, because I have read quite a few of them about the science of prayer, and it's not just denominational, God isn't up there going, oh, well, the Christians have prayed about 700 times, but they only played 3, so I'm not. It doesn't work that way. And it's not like a fairy god thing where you see it on FedBook all the time. If I get 100, this person needs 100 likes for Jesus to help them. It doesn't work that way. It's not a fairy godmother thing.
No, it's not a genie in a
Jesus
bottle.
isn't up in there going, oh, he didn't get that. I asked for 1,000, he got 999. I won't help him. It doesn't work that way.
We talk about that a lot on this page. That is so important. What you're bringing in is so important.
And to interject, I prayed with members of every denomination out there. If people come on the door, can I pray? Yeah, we can pray. I don't have to be of your religion to pray to the deity. Right. You have a different name for him than I do. No big deal. You mean the same thing. It's like there's essence to truth in every religion that's out there.
Except Jehovah's Witnesses.
They should deliver the mail. I've got friends that are Jehovah's Witnesses too.
So do I.
But are you talking before the reform or after the reform?
Well, both.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't tell them you're praying to the same God.
No. Only 144,000 of us are going to heaven, and they're already there. So your religion's moot. I know. What you're fighting for a space in purgatory? I mean, I'll stay in purgatory then,
And the guys that are on the street, the young deacons, are so clueless as to what's going on in the world. They keep them so clueless. Well,
them and the Mormons.
Yeah.
We have the Mormons around here that ride around on bikes, and I've seen them do a lot of good.
Yeah.
I've seen them doing some good for people, but then I also know the religion, and for some of them, I know the religion better than them. And
they are taking care of families. They are taking care of families and children.
Yeah. So I don't bash. I bash religion because religion has got a lot to answer for, and I don't know what you call it. I don't even know what you would call religion. I call it your opinion. And that seems to be what it is. Your opinion on what's going on is your religion. And
it's
my religion.
It's Europia on crack is what it is. Europia on crack. Eurasia on crack. Eurasia on crack. That's what it is. And
it has a lot to explain for itself because it's caused a lot of wars, a lot of problems, a lot of unneeded hatred in the world because, well, I believe that it says this, and I don't. Well, I hate you. Why? Because they have a different opinion? Because they see things a little bit differently? That's called being human. I mean,
I have a wonderful article you should read. It's on my page, Prayer Science International. It's number 1 or number 2. It's number 1, called metaphysicscript.com, I think. Let me look at this. Yep, that's it, metaphysicscript.com. I want you to read that. It is something else. I mean, it is kick-ass. Metaphysicscript.com, and it's the first real post you come to, I believe, there. And it's a overview of the Sermon on the Mount, and it talks about how Jesus hated religion. This woman is so brilliant. Emmett Fox. Emmett must be a man. Emmett Fox wrote this, and it was copyrighted in 1938 by Emmett Fox, published by Grosset and Dunlap. And it is so intense, and it is so right up your alley. It goes in depth about what did Jesus really teach, not what religion says, not what the interpretations say, not even what all the Scripture says, but what did Jesus really teach? It talks about the Beatitudes. It talks about as a man thinketh. It talks about resist not evil, treasure in heaven, with what measure ye mate, and by their fruits, and it closes with the Lord's Prayer. And it's 122 pages, and it is just a knockout. Page for page is against religion, and it talks about the real stuff. It doesn't mention religion except in a negative way. throughout the whole piece. So I think you're really going to like it. And as a matter of fact, why am I sitting here like an idiot? Why don't I just put it?
Yeah, just send it to me. I'll read it.
Let me see here. How do I find you? I've got some weird shit going on in my stuff here. Weird shit going on.
You can send it to any of them. Get the news straight or
share to friends timeline. Let me see if I can do this. There's Glenn. Hey, look at this. Wow, I did it. Okay, it's on your timeline, and let me put it in. Let me see if I can do this. They've got me screwed up too. They've changed my bar. They've got so
they do that.
They do that. They'll figure out what the hell you're doing. Yeah.
Or you'll get used to a certain pattern of the bar, and they'll switch it all around on you, and you're like, what? And you have to go back and relearn, and they switch it again. They do that so that you don't get comfortable using.
Now, don't just tell me you're going to read this. Don't just tell me you're going to read this. Really read some of it. This is really right up your alley. This is right up you and I's alley. This is just what we talk about.
Anything anybody sends me, I usually scan through it. I might not, sit down. If it's interesting, I'll sit there and read the whole thing. If it's not interesting, I'll scan through it, but I definitely read all of it.
Look, I wouldn't even send you. I'm like you. I wouldn't even send it over to you if I didn't think you were going to eat it up.
Yeah. I always, people send me, they're like, oh, might be weird, and I read the whole thing. You read the whole thing? I didn't. It's like you sent it to me and didn't read it. It's like, come on, and another, And other times I might stand over something and somebody says, did you read that? And I go, well, should I have? Hold on a minute. And I'll go back and read it.
I'll admit I've only read half of this, but I'm so excited about it. I'm going to send it to everybody I know and then some. Facebook wants me to pay $300. $300. Facebook wants me to pay $3 to boost the prayer page to 462 views. What do you think? You think that's a
scam? Because then they'll go, okay, now that you spent the $3, that's only for this one post. Now you want your page to do well. Send us X amount of money, and we'll give you X amount more. And then you go in, oh, well, since you did that, send us X amount more to reach, and finally you're just paying to have
that'll turn into hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, exactly. It's like that pyramid scheme for only $3. Okay, it's $3 a month. I'll pay $3. Oh, well, if you'd have gone $10, may as well go $10.
Yeah, you missed it. You should have taken the second level instead of the first.
Yeah.
Oh, did we tell you?
And if for only $10 more, and then by the time you're done, you spent you spent your whole month, your whole year's allowance on one thing, and it didn't go anywhere. Yeah. And then you find out it's just bots that they send you. I mean, FedBook has a lot of bots on it, or just computers that have a name and send out like a regular person. And I've argued with one of the bots before I found out it was a bot, and it was like, wow.
Oh, yeah, you're arguing with a machine.
Yeah, and it's an AI machine that you're arguing with. And it's like,
yeah, it's a dit and a dot somewhere. It's a dit and a dot somewhere. You're arguing with little dits and dots. That's all.
Yeah.
There's no humans that work at Facebook. Didn't you know there's no humans that work at Facebook or
Google? You can't find a human. You can't find a human. Everything is automated. I mean, I've got the report book, how you report stuff and what happens in it, and it's all machine driven. You very rarely find a human. The only way you can find a human is you got to give them feedback.
That's why there's no emotion. There's no emotion. They don't want any emotion involved in it. They don't want anybody to have to make an emotional decision and say, oh, Glenn, we're so sorry. We didn't mean for that to happen to you. Let me fix that. Here, click, 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 click. They don't want that. I know. They don't want that.
And people tell me, it's like, I've gotten a hold of a person at FedBook. I know what it takes to find these people. You don't just type their name in a search bar and ding, you find them. You got to go all over the place to find these people. And then when you do, you got to get a hold of them.
You got to really dig, look around.
And I spent 2 or 3 months tracking somebody down before I got a hold of the person. And then I finally got a hold of him after going to the FBI. And then he goes, "Oh, you think you're so big and bad you got a hold of me? Ha ha." It's like, yeah, I did. You're only talking to me because I talked to the FBI. Mm-hmm. That's the only reason. And yes, I did this all on my own. Yes. And then a couple months later, he got fired. So because somebody got through to him, and you're a liability now, written off, and I have to go through all that again to find somebody else. But I always use their feedback. I constantly tell them how bad they are in their feedback, and they do read them. There is somebody that reads that.
What do you think about the new Google God article that came out? I mean, Google is God on Earth now. What do you think about Google becoming so powerful with DARPA and with the National Security Agency? With NASA?
It didn't become power. I have to correct you there. It started off that way. It started off with DARPA, IARPA, and then they put in
as of late what they are creating.
Oh, it's totally out of control.
It's totally out of control. It's beyond human imagination, wouldn't you say?
Yes. I feel that all these evils that we've been talking about are now being perpetrated by AI because, and every time they make a AI thing, it tells everybody we're going to put humans in a zoo, humans need to be done away with. And it's like, if this is what they're programming in, and then they're giving drones autonomous control to kill people, you know what? Sooner or later, we're going to have Terminator. And I know about it in the late 90s about Petman and Atlas and all those, and they're just bringing these out as brand new 30 years later when I know about them for 30 years. No, they're so far ahead of time. They're just putting out, look at these first generation, but they're like on 5th generation stuff already.
I'll drop the pill. I'm taking my heart pills. Just a minute.
All right. But, like you said, I mean, the Google AI is ridiculous, and now it's writing code that we can't read, and only the computers can understand it.
Yeah, I know.
And making up a new language. Soon it's just going to go, we don't need humans at all.
The next show you and I do, I want to save it for the Sunday night show, I think, and you know me, I'll do it Tuesday. But I want to do a special on Jade Helm 2. I'm pretty much a specialist on Jade Helm 2, and I want to do a special on that because it covers so many areas of Google and the NSA and the FBI.
Well, they already stated in Jade Helm 15 it was control the human domain, and then you get ARS 2020, I think it is. Don't quote me on that. I wrote an article about it. There's another one that is coming up that's even more. It's Land War Net. They control all the narrative. They control all the information.
Yeah,
they control everything.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Jade Helm 2, the reason I like Jade Helm 2 is because it's the basics. It's 101, and it kind of goes over 101 so people can kind of get a basic understanding of some of the terminology they're using for some of their programs and stuff. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the Jade Helm 15 stuff out is mine because, I started looking, and it's like, wow. Everybody's putting back to what I found because.
But it's kind of like a series. A friend of mine told me, who's a special agent, told me it's kind of like he's happy I'm doing a Jade Helm 2 because he said it's like watching a series on television. If there's like 35 in the series or 75 in the series, if you go to 65, you're not going to understand shit.
Right.
What you're watching.
You have to watch from 1 to.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I would tell everybody first, go read a lot of the stuff I wrote about Jade Helm.
Yeah, of course.
I put it out. And then build on that because I went and found the Army manuals. I found the CIA manuals. It's like I did a whole. I can't down my ex-co-host for that because he did cover it. And at the time, he was very behind it. But then all of a sudden, he changed his tune when Trump got in. And, all this stuff that we wanted the TPP gone. Trump took away the TPP. Well, he's bad.
Yeah.
What? How can he be bad when he got rid of everything has been going against everything we've been talking about and he took it all away. Am I supporting him? No, because I know the agenda, and I'm just trying to figure out what are they bringing in next.
Yeah. What's going to
I'm not behind Trump per se, but he's doing a lot of good, and you can't go, well, I hate him because he's doing good. And it doesn't make much sense.
Well, I
and
know
then
two things.
What are they going to bring back in?
I know two things we need to do right now is look at Trump and see we need to take away the education czar, and we need to take away the healthcare czar. Those are two very important things that I'm looking at to get rid of that bureaucracy, that mountain of bullshit.
The EPA needs to be gone.
Yeah.
They don't do anything. They used to, and it's like CNN. Back before the 2000s, CNN was the world leader in news. Okay, great. Yes, they were. It was controversial, but they did a lot of good. Then after 2001, they became Propaganda Central. And
the Environmental Protection Agency was taken over by the globalists a long time ago.
The minute the globalists touch something, it starts out good, and they corrupt it, and it's still good. Like the Sierra Club is pushing against nuclear reactors, when in the 60s, the Sierra Club was pushing for the nuclear reactors.
I know.
And then when they get in, they switch sides and became against it. Everybody, they're so good. No, they're not. They are not. They wrote Project for the New American Century with Jeb Bush. And they can't be good if they're writing Agenda 21 and, don't tell me this, they didn't do that, la, 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 and put your fingers in your ears and don't want to hear shit. No, the Sierra Club isn't to be trusted. And I cover them constantly. Well, you're here because of nuclear reactors. Yes, nuclear reactors need to be done away with. But that doesn't put me in league with Sierra Club, because Sierra Club wants to do away with humans too. So,
I'm sending you something right now that I want you to take a listen to. You don't have to read it, thank goodness. I'm going to go ahead and put it on your page. It's in your message box right now.
Okay.
It's called SB 18 is bad for us. And
I've heard of it. I don't remember it offhand SB 18, but I have heard it.
SB 18 is about the state taking over the children completely this time, not just a little bit, not just partially, not just moderately, but full control over your children, SB 18. I think you're going to dig into this and do some news coverage on it. And this girl really explains it in a really concise way. And, of course, you can Google SB 18. The bill is really short, but if you read between the lines, it sounds beautiful. Yeah. It sounds wonderful just to read it. It sounds just like, something you'd find in heaven. But if you read between the lines on some of the words they use, it's all about full control.
You will vaccinate. Control. You will let us do what we want. You will
let us come into your house. We will come in anytime we want to, whatever hour it is.
They now have the doctors ask the children, do you have any guns in the house? Oh,
I know.
Do? Okay, thanks.
Does your dad watch porn?
Yeah.
Does your dad watch porn? Does your mom watch porn? Do they leave the door open when they have sex?
Do they cuss at you? Do they
Do they hit you? Do they swat you?
When they came in with the CPS illegally and interrogated my son for an hour at his school illegally. Yeah, he won't tell me everything they told me because his little brain at that time blocked it out. But it still put that division in our household. And then when I took care of him, my son came home. He's like, "Why are you still here?" They told me you were going to jail. I said, they can't put me in jail if I didn't do anything wrong. At that point, and then they tried to get me for shit, and it's like everything you got was a fucking lie. Now, I want the person that started the lie, well, how do you know who it is? It's not hard to tell who shoots you in the face when they're holding a gun pointing at you. You don't need... she left a threatening note on my gate, on my fence where only me and her could see it. She did all this stuff, and she was a tenant. I was the property manager, and they, you better listen to the criminal tenant. And for a year and a half, they held me hostage, and she moved, and they go, aren't you glad it stopped? It's like only because she moved and you had nothing else against me, but you still continue to shit, and you still call me a pedophile.
Did they put you in jail?
No, they couldn't. They didn't have any damn thing on me. No, I told them I went and got a lawyer and everything else, and they were like, but they could set a police car out in front of my house every day. I had to ask the police officer to cut my grass. I had to get permission from a police officer who was a pedophile to cut my grass because I wasn't allowed outside my house because her children were around. And it's like, fuck that.
Oh boy.
No, they didn't convict me, but they convicted me in the second sense of that term. I didn't go to court, but I had the guilt pressed on me and was considered guilty even though I did nothing wrong. And then when they found out it was a lie, they go, oh, well, sorry. It's like, no, there are laws in this damn country, and you violated quite a few of them. And then
they don't care.
When my ex-co-host got NDA'd off the street, my memory chip was in his camera, and it had a file on it with my name on it. They went into that file without a search warrant, and they erased part of the file and part of his video of the incident too. And they go, oh, don't worry about it. It's like, no, I'm going to worry about it. I want to take you to court, and I want this shit taken care of because only in Richmond does this happen. If I go to District of Criminals to film the EPA hearing, I'm treated like royalty with my press pass. I get through government checkpoints. Everybody else has to show their state ID. I show my press pass. It's not legit. Well, it gets me through government checkpoints. It must be something. But then I come home.
We're licensed station. You could license through us.
Yeah, and it won't do any good. They still deny it. They don't pay any attention to it. It's only what you get on the street. And then I went up to the mayor, and, children being left home for 24 days straight with no adult supervision. What the hell? And they go, oh, we'll look into it. Nothing got done. And they go, don't worry about it. You're too nosy. It's like, you're in my house for nothing illegally, and then you tell me it was don't worry about something.
Well, they call you a nuisance. They call you a nuisance after a while. The people that
they told me to stop. They told me to stop picking on her.
Yeah,
she reports me, and I get told to stop picking on her. It's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
And I got mounds of evidence. I got,
They call anybody that fights against the system, and anybody that's persistent fighting against the system is called a nuisance or a crazy or a lunatic or a conspiracy
I have what's it called? Odd. I'm now odd is what it,
Yeah, you're odd. You're odd.
Yeah, I don't remember it's like defiant.
Defiant.
You rebel.
That's on the DSM. See, that's in the DSM now. Defiant.
All of a sudden, you're defiant. You don't like the government, so therefore you're a troublemaker. No, I want the fucking shit done that's supposed to be done by law.
Yeah.
Well, trying to get the law done anymore. The law is whatever the officer says at the time of the moment. It's an edict, not a statute.
It's very difficult to get them to take anybody seriously anymore. Yeah,
and these people, I mean, like the deputy chief of police, I've known him for 12 years. He walks up to me, hi, Glenn, how you doing? He turns back around, and his capacity as the police officer, who are you? Like, come on. You ain't that fucking stupid.
Yeah.
You just called me my name. It's on video. You're calling me my name, saying hi and everything. You turn back around, and don't know who I am. Yeah. And when you're standing out there and it says press, and I look like a cop. I have press patch on. Everything, and it's like, no, I only film you. And getting back to what you said before, don't talk to the cops. If nobody talks to the cops, nobody holds them accountable. I hold them accountable. That's why they don't like me, because I go up in their face. And
here's what I say:
I say don't.
If you're not experienced in talking to the cops, don't talk to the cops. Okay, let me clarify that. If you're not,
I will agree with that. Yes.
If you're not highly experienced in having an interaction with the police, then don't have an interaction with the police. If you're highly experienced and knowledgeable and know some of the basic common laws and rules of law and statutes and ordinances and codes, then by all means go ahead and talk to the police. So there's my clarification for you. Okay.
I agree with that. Yes.
The average person just likes to run their mouth to the police. You don't want to run your mouth to the police.
Yes.
That's what I mean.
Don't run off your mouth and don't go. Well, like my ex-co-host, he knows the law, but then he stands out there and constantly yells and yells and yells, and he walks away and comes back and yells again because he thinks there's something else he should say. And that there is why they take. They take special interest in him because he does that type of thing. And then they lump me in. Oh, well, you're with him, so therefore you're. And it's like, no. What about the 7 years before I met him that I was going up against you? And it's the same people. And then, we can use your ex-co-host as an excuse now to pick on you. And it's like that's even worse because
you're on the watch list, my friend, as I am.
Oh yeah,
I'm on the watch list.
I'm on
You're on probably
lists.
several lists. Yeah.
And plus being former IC, I gave an oath to the intelligence community. Even though they forgot about me, doesn't mean that my oath doesn't stand for them.
Yeah,
so,
of course.
And then when they see it, and then I tell them, run me. Here, I go to the FBI. I say, here's the Social Security number. Run me. I had a clearance, and they pull back. Oh, well.
Yeah.
We don't want to. And then it changes the subject because then I become in the know, and then they, we won't talk to you and ignore you, but they still follow me around. They still watch me. I know. I have contacts that tell me, they're watching you.
The FBI is notorious for ignoring people.
Oh yeah. Well, they ignore you to your face, but watch you behind your back.
They will definitely surveil you and watch you if you're a target. But as far as having communication with you, no, sirree, bobtail. Not unless their superiors have told them to go and do an investigation. They're not going to talk to you, period. They might say hello at 7-Eleven. I doubt it, very seriously. They might say hi. That's it.
And people think that these agents are all over the place and that they'll come up to you, I'm an agent.
No, they're not.
Agents will not fucking tell you that they're agents. The only people that tell you that they're agents are shills, wind-ups, agitators,
or
the like.
Blue cops in blue, or people that are uniformed.
Or
obviously uniformed. Yeah.
The uniform. Or
the FBI has their jackets on, their flight jackets on.
Yeah.
Then you'll know.
And then they will, or they are X. They are no longer in it, and they'll tell you, I was in it.
Right, of course.
But they're not. But the normal person on the street that my ex-co-host finds that go, I'm an agent, immediately, I told you he was an agent. Here's the proof. He said it. It's like, did you get their ID card?
They don't impress me. I don't
it's
get
like,
involved
did you try to even investigate them? You're just going on what they say. Well, I'm a Martian. Hey, but all it is you just say something. I'm a bowl of chocolate ice cream. Does that make it so? No. But don't try to convince these people.
I leave all this up to you guys. I leave all this interaction up to you guys. I'm in the office now, 60 years old. I'll handle it from the office.
I wish I was in the office.
Leave all this street stuff to you guys.
This street stuff sucks sometimes, but then it has its moments too because you're out there interacting with the people.
Yeah.
And, he goes, people tell me, well, you shouldn't respect them. I respect anybody that stands up for their rights and talks against stuff. Even if they're bloody wrong, I still support them because they stood up and had the courage to speak out.
Yeah.
And you can't respect them. No, I respect them. They might not be right, but they had the courage to stand up against their friends, against all the bullshit, and speak their truth. Even if it's totally wrong, they still had that courage to do it. And I admire that. We need more of that.
Yeah, we do. We really do.
Even if you're wrong, speak your truth. And freedom of speech also includes the freedom not to listen to them. I don't have to listen to them. I have to hear them. I mean, some of them are speaking so loud you can't help but hear them. But I don't have to listen to their words. If I don't agree, I can turn it off, turn the channel, walk away. Do like you do to the poor and wretched people on the street. Look the other way and walk away.
You know, it's funny how some people just draw the police to them as if they're a magnet for the police. I'm just the opposite. I repel the police. I never see them. I never.
My ex-co-host was that way.
Never interact.
He could be walking down the street and the police just to him. And then I started asking, well, why is that? And then I started looking, and it's like, well, a lot of the shit that he says and a lot of the shit he does.
Yeah.
He might not have done something wrong then, but he might have done something 3 months ago that facilitated that person to treat him that way. And then you sort of have to.
Once they get it in for you, they've got a spot on your forehead.
Oh, yeah.
You got a target on your forehead. Once they get it in for you, that's it. That's it. For the rest of the time they're on the force, they're going to be like stink on shit with you.
Oh, yeah. And some people deserve it. I mean, some people draw it to themselves.
Yeah.
Other people like me, I mean, I've got a mark on me, but they keep going, we can't find anything wrong with him, so we ignore him. And, he came to us, we'll deal with him and push him away. We're still going to do all our surveillance and stuff, but we just won't talk to him or give him a benefit of the acknowledgement of he talked to us. And that's okay, too. At least you heard me,
Well, you're not a very important actor as far as sharing news on Facebook or your publishing page or whatever. I mean, you're not a dangerous actor.
No. I just put out their information and stuff, but, when the crackdown comes, I'm on that list. And,
you'll be a dissident, only because you'll be a dissident. You'll be a heretic, that's all. I mean, because you're going to be anti-government. That's on the lower end of the scale, like me. We'll be both anti-government, we'll be considered dissidents, and we'll be considered heretics, and it'll be considered treason. So, that's the four things that they will get us for. Treason, being a dissident, being a heretic, and whatever else I said. So, anti-government. So, and that's treason. And they can arrest you for that. They just don't yet. They only arrest people that come out and get really visible with it in the public, like your co-host friend. They make arrests on people like him, but generally they don't take the time to come and knock on your door because of your Facebook post, unless you're really
unless you're really out there.
Yeah, really out there threatening to kill the president or something, or blow up the White House, and you've got plans and bombs, and you've already gone to the hardware store. Then they're going to come knocking on your door and ask you some questions, hard questions, and you'll probably end up in handcuffs. You probably won't make it through that, especially if they search your home and find the hardware store stuff there.
Yep. Yeah, but, and my ex-co-host he's one of them. Right now, he's up at APEC yelling at people, and whole two people. It was big movement. 2 people going go yell at APEC. And he was going to march in front of the Pentagon with weapons. It's like, you know what? You're just asking to get thrown away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I said, no, I don't want any part of that. Well, you're suspicious. It's like, no, I'm just not stupid.
I don't go for any of that kind of stuff. None of it whatsoever. I'm not into protest. I'm not a groupie. I don't go hang around with protesters. I'm not a groupie. If I'm there, I'm covering the scene as a journalist.
That's why I keep telling them. It's like, I'm for most of what you say. Yes, okay. I'm what you said and what my opinions are, just quite nicely. But on the same token, I'm there to cover the story. I'm there for what's going on. And everybody, you're part of the group. No, I'm not part of your group. I am there covering the event. Whether if I agree with you, great. There's a lot of groups that I cover that I do not agree with them there. Part of the group.
What really helps is to wear a T-shirt for all of these brain dead people. That says independent press or something on it.
I've got. I mean, I'll show you a picture. I've got a vest that has press. It says press on it. It has my organization patch on it. I look like a cop. And across it says I have my name on it, and then on the back I have my logo. And it's like I'm purely press. I'm press. I am not part of your organization. And, because like I said, a lot of times I'm at rallies and I don't agree with the rally. And they're like, oh, well, you're with us. No, I'm not. I'm not. Well, then you're against us. Oh, and it's like, man, I'm here covering an event. I'm independent. If I agree with you, fine. If I don't agree with you, fine. It doesn't make any difference to me. I'm here for the story.
Right.
And more people need to realize that. And then they go, oh, well, finally, ABC is here. And I'm like, they're not going to put you on TV. Yes, they are. You don't know anything. It's like, I'm with these people in the press pit constantly. I know what goes on. I tried to put they didn't put something on TV. I tried to get it on there. They go, no, we don't want it. It's like, yeah. And I asked the people that are filming from the ABC crew, NBC crew, I'm like, is this going to make the nightly news? They go, no. I said, see, he says it right there. You're not going to be on the news.
They used to.
Filming, yeah, they used to, but now it's like they're just filming you to make you feel good.
They used to do that, and they also used to allow you to come down to the courthouse and get your fingerprints taken and have your picture taken and be a part of the media for the police department, for the fire department. And that was in my day. You may not remember that, but that was in my day.
No, I remember that, and it only ended not too long ago.
Get your ID from the Texas Trooper Association and actually be able to get out and cover the story. But since everybody's gotten so belligerent and since everybody's gone so rogue, they stopped that program because of liability. So I miss those days. I really miss those days because it was a lot of fun to be a part of those agencies and to feel like they respected you on the scene. And we've lost that respect. We've lost that mutual respect. And all journalists now are considered rogue agents to police agencies. So anybody listening out there that's a new wannabe journalist, press, media, whatever you want to be, just remember you're a rogue agent to police organizations, and they're not going to respect you no matter what, unless they get to know you, unless they really
and even if they get to know you, they will still treat you like shit.
Yeah, but, and you're going to treat them bad on YouTube anyway, so they're not going to love you.
Yeah. They say, don't portray us in a bad light. I say, I don't. I just put out there what you've done.
Put out there what you did. All I can do.
I don't produce you in a bad light. I show what you're doing.
I'm not going to edit the film where you edit out the guy getting beat up by the cop. I'm not going to edit that part out. Of course. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to go. Ladies and gentlemen, it's 7:48, and I could go the full 2 hours, but I've got work to do. I've got things on my mind, and I'm sure Glenn M. Sutphin needs to get a little rest this afternoon. Glenn, I hope you get your show soon.
I'm definitely working on it. I'm just had a lot of computer problems, and once I get them all figured out, it'll be back up.
Yeah, and I appreciate you co-hosting with me tonight and every night, and it's been a real ride, man, we've had, and I enjoy the hell out of it. And please get over there when you can and look at that couple of different things I sent you, and I think you're going to enjoy those. Ladies and gentlemen, it is March the 26th, 2017. If you're listening to this broadcast at any other time, it has been pre-recorded. We are live tonight at 7:49 p.m. And check out the Prayer Science International page. I think you will like it. It's got some great music on it. You can just kick back and meditate and smoke a bong. I shouldn't have said that. But if
it's legal where you're at.
If it's legal where you're at, you can definitely kick back and smoke a bong and listen to some of the Gregorian chants and some of the Buddhist meditation music and Tibetan meditation music and chants. It's beautiful, just beautiful. There's thunderstorms. There's rain to listen to for 3 hours. You can just kick back and listen to rain. Now Glenn's wanting to go over there for his seizures. There's thunderstorms you can listen to, and it's just unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. So, definitely check out the page. And it's also very academic. It's got a lot of wonderful articles on it that you will enjoy about things that are happening around the world with neuroscience and the sciences in general in the study of prayer. And whether prayer really works or not. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, that page has got a little pro and con on it, like Glenn mentioned earlier. It's got a little pro and con on it. We're not just pro prayer. We're also putting up things where scientists have had bad results in studying prayer. So I don't want you to get mad at me for that. I think it's fair and balanced is what we're looking at here. And that's what I wanted to be. I didn't want to be one-track minded. I didn't want to be one-sided. I just didn't want to put one side of the story up. So for all of you who are upset with that, oh well, I'm sorry. You'll have to just go to another page. Glenn, thank you so much for being on tonight, and get well, my friend. I will see you on the Tuesday night show, and we'll knock it out again if you're available. So take care, ladies and gentlemen. This is Kiler Davenport, Alternative Public Radio International, on with Glenn Sutphin, my co-host and friend, and we will see you again on Tuesday. And remember, whatever you vividly imagine, ardently desire, and enthusiastically act upon will come to pass. We're out of here. Bye-bye.